We are back here at the WCG 2010 Grand Finals. Both players are ready. You see ReMinD on your left, Nicker on your right. I mean, Terranus stand. I'm curious to see if Nicker's going to change it up or go with the same strat. ReMinD, I think, is a very Demon Hunter-oriented player. He's probably going to stick with the same thing. Maybe change up to Challenge, maybe a quick Archer first, maybe just stick with Bears. I don't know, but I'm curious to see.
I think ReMinD will just adjust whatever he's going to face in-game. I can understand Nicker really doesn't want to play a 100% mirror matchup of both players doing exactly the same stuff, like Demon Hunter, Naga, Archers, Bears, because really you don't really want to go into a micro wire with ReMinD unless you feel very, very comfortable in your micro skills, but that's something you would like to prevent if you know that, I mean, probably you're not going to win that, so it's good to try to win on strategy instead of micro.
Yeah, I mean, ReMinD is definitely good at Night Elf Mirror. He's taken Moon on a couple times. Definitely a very micro-oriented player right here. We're going to start off with ReMinD in the red at the 10 o'clock position, and we're going to have Nicker in blue at the 4 o'clock position. I mean, both players doing a standard opening like we see before. ReMinD is going to go with that early AOW creep to get a level 2 Demon Hunter very fast, I think. And Nicker's probably going to stick with the same thing, I think, from what I've seen.
I think it should be a little bit harder for ReMinD to get level 3 though on this map compared to Echo Isles. Even though on Terran Ascent, in general it's quite easy to get level 3, but not when you get harassed straight away. It's easy when both players leave each other alone, then you can creep level 3 really, really fast. Certainly using that Asian War, but when the other player starts to harass you straight away because he wants to slow down your creeping, it shouldn't be as easy for ReMinD as it was on the last game. So perhaps that's going to make things a little bit harder for him.
Yeah, and he's not going to be able to creep that Merc camp right away and get that early Troll Priest and Berserker advantage to take out those Huntresses early on. Nicker is going to go at the bottom again, so we're going to see the same thing from him, I think. We've got some Wisp scouting up there. ReMinD is going to send a Wisp in here and see that he is going to go Huntresses again.
Not everyone is interested. He will get it one day.
One day. The AOW is almost up here, so I'm sure you're going to produce one Archer and then start AOW creeping this out, trying to get that creep out. Demon Hunter is going to be from ReMinD about halfway done, so we're going to see him come out very, very soon.
We saw Thomas using pretty much the same opening as Nicker, but instead of going for the expand build and trying to win with a huge army, he went for the pushing strategy. Of course, ReMinD is vulnerable in a sort of situation where he's going tier 3 really fast. He really doesn't have that many units, but even then it's going to be really hard because you won't have that many Huntresses either, and you also play pretty much all in. If you're not winning the game straight away, you're going to lose it because you're just too far behind teching wise. So I'm interested to see if Nicker is actually, I mean, I'm sure Nicker saw that game. Certainly the last game between Thomas G and ReMinD, pretty much all the Warcraft players were watching it because it was unreal. So I wonder if he knows that, like, maybe I should try it as well, or maybe he shouldn't. I mean, we're gonna see it.
Yeah, I mean, this map is probably good for that push strategy. He can hide the Ancient of Protectors very well and maybe force a fight before he does get those Master Bears, definitely. ReMinD is creeping this out. The Rogue is over here with no HP, just whacking away at the tree. He's gonna get almost level 2 off this creep, getting in the Ring of Protection. Probably not the best item, but it's better than nothing, I guess.
Yeah.
But
on Demon Hunter, it's not even too bad, because once more, this Demon Hunter is going to be under a lot of focus fire. We've seen that last game, and we've also seen how invulnerable he was, certainly when he gets higher level. But on the lower levels, it's really nice to have like some stuff like Ring of Protection. He also picks up the Slivers of Agility, which of course boosts his damage, and also gives him a little bit of additional armor, so that makes him already even stronger. So that's not a too bad drop in general for ReMinD.
Yeah, we do see Nicker going with the 2 Ancient of War, so he is going to do a mass tier 1 army of Huntresses, I think. And he's just going to try and keep ReMinD distracted. Not letting ReMinD creep is probably what he wants to do right now, and just keep him at bay until he gets enough Huntresses to go in there and push the base. I think maybe we'll see like a 40 or 50 food push from Nicker.
Yeah, that's definitely a possibility, unless he just decides to go for expansion straight away. You can see he built both of his Ancient of War and strategical positions. I mean, whenever he has a couple of Huntresses, he will just unroot it and use it to creep a pretty big spot, because you don't want to take that damage on your Huntresses, because you want to keep those Moonwells. So that's why he builds one at his natural expansion and one at the Mercenary camp, which of course are both pretty big creep camps, the big ones, the biggest one there is, at least at Terran Ascent.
Yeah, definitely helps him creep those out later, so his Huntresses aren't getting very, very low from those creeps. I mean, ReMinD does now know that he is going the 2 AOW hunt build, so that's good. He's going to buy a Staff of TP and try and do some Wisp harassment right here. Try and slow down the wood economy of Nicker. I mean, it's kind of important for Huntresses since they do cost quite a bit of wood. But we're going to see OneWiz going back in the base.
And look what we have going on at the top side of the map. We can see a blue dot at near ReMind's Goblin Merchant, which is going to be an Asian of Protector. So he is going to unroot that whenever he has a couple of Huntresses out already. And so he's actually going more of a Thomas G style this game instead of what he did last game. ReMind didn't scout it yet, and he really has to scout it though, because as soon as that protection goes up, he's going to be able to put a lot more pressure on that base. And it's also a lot safer to build additional protectors. But there we go. Excellent scouting by ReMind. ReMind is aware of this right now, but I'm not sure how he's going to handle it.
Yeah, I'm curious to see. I mean, ReMind was trying to look for it earlier. He's going to build that glaive very early on and build an AP. He is going to get ready to defend this push. He knows it's going to happen. That AP is going to come in there, and he's going to mass hunt and try and push this. He did sell his TP, which will allow him to build another Huntress, I think, which is probably the best move. This looks like it's going to be an all-in strat or nothing for Nicker.
Yeah, so a different way to counter this. Last time he just went tier 3, but it got incredible close, probably way too close for his liking. I'm not sure how much he thought about this or how many times he practiced this. You don't see this very often, that a player really mixes himself up so badly in a tournament, but I think he's quite okay. I mean, his Glaive Trial is going to be out really, really soon, and those Huntresses, they can be too offensive near those archers, which are protected by those Moonwells. One more Asian War going up as well for ReMind, so he's going to be able to produce more Glaive Throwers. But in this way, his stack is also going to be a lot later, so Nicker doesn't have to overly commit to this build. I mean, he can put a lot of pressure on it. He did sell his Town Porter, so that's quite a commitment already. But he doesn't really have to play all the way all in.
Yeah, I mean, he is focusing this AP, and it looks like Nicker's just going to try and kill that Hunter's Hall. I don't know why he's not trying to defend this AP, maybe just to distract. He is going to run back now, and he is bringing in Wisp to repair that. Here come the Huntresses in. He is going to probably, nice deal by him. We just see Vorpal Glaives being researched, which definitely helps. He is tech to that, so that will help him out.
He could just send like 2 or 3 Huntresses to that Huntress Hall right now and take that one with those 3 Huntresses down instead of moving his entire army from left to right. Nevertheless, not a big deal, but I'm not sure really how effective this is going to be. This Glaive Trial is there already, and he shouldn't be able to kill it anytime soon, unless ReMind somehow makes a mistake, but I wouldn't really trust on ReMind making a mistake though. Here we go, one Glaive Trial does take a nice amount of damage, but the Whisper coming in, going to try to repair it. Is he going to send in the Huntresses? No, he sends them back. He does lose one Huntress already in the process, and that's what I mean.
Yeah, I mean, ReMind is very well prepared for this. I'm not sure really what Nicker can do right now except sit back and just get these APs up, but the Ballistas are going to be able to hit them in range while Nicker just has to sit there and take it. I mean, he can't really do much right now as far as pushing the base. That AP is in there for ReMind, so he has that to defend for him, and these glaives. He does need to be careful and bring him back in the base. They are taking some damage, but Wisp are repairing them. We see the APs are going to start moving forward to do some more damage here and get in range of ReMind's base to put some extra pressure on him.
Excellent base by ReMind. You can see he can safely moves his units in and out. The only hard thing is sometimes when Wisp are repairing it, it screws up the controls a little bit. So he might lose a flamethrower one now and then, here and there, just because he's repairing them from the back. But nevertheless, he's definitely going to be able to stop off these protectors. I think what Nicker should have done is just leave that one protector, let ReMind invest into glaive throwers, and then go for something different. Then just go for that expand build after all. I'm not sure if that's still possible, but right now with those 3 extra protectors that he built, I don't think this is gonna work. I mean, this push is definitely not gonna work. Yeah. Right now, you just need to save time and figure out something else.
So that AP is gonna go down. Vorpal Glades is researched right now, so he's gonna do extra damage in front and behind those Huntresses. I mean, he doesn't really have an army here. I mean, there's only 3 Huntresses left in the battle. I don't know if he's microing them out, but level 3 Demon Hunter for ReMind. He is doing a very good job.
Whoa, and that's gonna be GG for Nicker already.
Yeah. Well played by ReMind.
He probably shouldn't have gone for this push too much, but wow, excellent defense by ReMind. He really learned from his mistake, didn't get into a tough situation at all, and wow, how flawless did both these guys play throughout the entire tournament. Even though ReMind struggled a little bit in the group stage, beating Fly 2-0 in the quarterfinals, now beating Nicker 2-0 in the semifinals. Same goes for Grubby, beating Lin 2-0 and Ted 2-0, and what a great Warcraft 3 final we're gonna have. Yeah. And it's funny as well, because these 2 guys, they met each other in a weekly tournament, and the last two editions of that tournament, they met each other in the final. One time Grubby won, one time ReMind won, so that's gonna make tomorrow even better.
Yeah, that's gonna be probably the best final, you know, Grubby versus ReMind. I'm curious to see if Korea will finally get that gold medal, or if Grubby's gonna add to his list already. I mean, he won in 2008. I mean, 2010 would be definitely a great achievement for him.
So tomorrow we're going to witness something unique. Either Grubby is going to be the first guy ever to win 3 WCGs, or ReMind is going to be the first Korean Warcraft player to finally win it. And I mean, both things are equally awesome. For